shut them down on August 15th over repeated critical violations like dirty and grimy shelves, floors and ceilings, holes in the wall. We're talking trays of uncovered meats, holding nets crawling on food cutting boards, filthy floors and stacks of dirty dishes.
Millions of Americans did not suddenly become picky eaters. They simply figured out what restaurant owners were doing behind the kitchen doors, and they decided to stop showing up. No grand announcements, no loud hashtags on social media, just a silent, devastating boycott. 8 massive restaurant chains you grew up with, places that used to be the gold standard for weekend family dinners, are bleeding customers every single day. From shrinking portions to frozen food hastily reheated in microwaves, it all points to one brutal reality: your trust has been exploited for profit. Today, we are going to expose the dark truth behind these 8 familiar names. We will call out the absolute worst menu items you are being tricked into buying and reveal the safer, better choices that actually deserve your money. Keep listening until the very end of this countdown, because you will discover a massive shock regarding a single executive who destroyed the top chain on our list and walked away with a $98 million payout. Why does this matter right now? Because the meals you buy to feed your family are no longer what they claim to be. The corporate restaurant industry is quietly sacrificing your health and your bank account to protect their profit margins. Throughout this documentary, we will break down exactly which menu items you must avoid at all costs, from chemical-soaked beef to frozen pouches disguised as fresh cooking. We will also provide the safer alternatives that actually respect your hard-earned money. Keep watching until the very end of this video, because you will discover a massive shock regarding a single executive who destroyed the top chain on our list. Let us begin with a place famous for fresh, never frozen beef. Wendy built an entire empire convincing you that their square patties were the pinnacle of fast food quality. But walk into one of their kitchens today and you will find a very different reality hiding behind that smiling red-haired girl. The biggest scandal involves what happens to their fryers after the lunch rush ends. Former employees have revealed that many locations are reusing frying oil for days on end, turning it into a dark and sludgy chemical soup. Consuming food cooked in this degraded oil heavily increases your risk of ingesting dangerous carcinogens. At the same time, their famous Dave's Single Combo has fallen victim to massive unspoken shrinkflation. You are paying premium prices for a meat patty that is visibly thinner, served alongside fries soaked in toxic oxidized fats. It is a complete betrayal of the fresh and wholesome image they project on every single television commercial. You are essentially paying more money to slowly damage your own health. If you think eating food from week-old oil is disgusting, prepare yourself for the next restaurant on our list. They are heavily injecting their meat with chemical flavorings to disguise cheap supermarket beef, and they are charging you a fortune to eat it. Outback Steakhouse built its entire reputation on giving you an authentic, premium steakhouse experience right in your neighborhood. Millions of families celebrate their most precious milestones in those dimly lit dining rooms, trusting they are eating high-quality cuts of beef. But the reality on your plate is nothing short of a culinary scam engineered in a corporate boardroom. Whistleblowers recently leaked documents revealing that a staggering 87% of their steaks are actually low-grade factory-farmed meats, identical to the cheapest cuts found in discount supermarkets. To hide the severe lack of quality and the gray, unappetizing color of the meat, their kitchens employ a deceptive technique called heavy seasoning. They essentially bury the cheap beef under a toxic avalanche of highly processed sodium and artificial flavor enhancers. Consuming this aggressive chemical cocktail forces your blood pressure to spike violently while damaging your kidneys over time. You are paying $50 for a piece of cheap meat that is actively destroying your cardiovascular system with every single bite. It is a brilliant financial trick that leaves the executives wealthy and the customers chronically ill. You might think paying premium prices for chemically soaked discount beef is the ultimate betrayal of customer trust. Continue watching until the end of this list, because the next massive chain has completely abandoned basic food safety protocols, serving you reheated leftovers from broken refrigerators while demanding full price. For decades, the Fridays chain was the ultimate destination for casual dining and energetic weekend celebrations. You went there expecting a vibrant atmosphere and a plate of freshly cooked comfort food. But ever since massive private equity firms took control, the soul of the kitchen has been entirely gutted. They systematically fired the experienced cleaning staff and ignored critical maintenance on their refrigeration systems to squeeze out every possible penny. Instead of fresh meals, you are now paying restaurant prices for cheap frozen food that is simply thrown into an industrial microwave. Former employees have exposed that hot dishes are frequently frozen solid before being heavily nuked for your table, which explains why you are forced to wait 40 minutes for a basic meal. Furthermore, cross-contamination has become a massive health risk, as underpaid, overworked kitchen staffs are forced to operate in chaotic and unsanitary conditions. You are literally paying a premium to eat low-quality television dinners in a dimly lit room while risking a severe case of food poisoning. If you find the microwave scam insulting, prepare yourself for the next notorious sports bar on our list. They are aggressively serving up spoiled, undersized poultry, deep-fried in ancient oil, and the financial reality behind their kitchen doors is absolutely terrifying. For many years, Hooters marketed itself as the ultimate destination for sports fans to enjoy fresh wings and cold beer. However, behind the iconic orange uniforms and cheerful service lies a collapsing infrastructure heavily squeezed by corporate greed. Financial desperation has forced their management to abandon the most basic food safety standards just to keep the restaurant doors open. Kitchen insiders have reported horrifying practices, including serving visibly undersized poultry that is repeatedly deep-fried in ancient and rancid oil. Customers are completely unaware that they are drinking lukewarm beverages from broken cooling systems while eating leftover food that has been reheated multiple times. The corporate office simply refuses to pay suppliers for fresh ingredients, leaving innocent diners exposed to severe bacterial infections. You are risking your physical health and emptying your wallet just to eat expired kitchen scraps disguised as a premium dining experience. If you find the reality of recycled meat disturbing, you must keep watching until the end of our countdown. A horrifying revelation awaits you regarding a $98 million chief executive officer who built his massive fortune by systematically starving his own restaurants. For a very long time, Panera Bread convinced millions of loyal customers that they were a premium bakery cafe, serving incredibly fresh and healthy ingredients. People gladly paid unusually high prices believing they were eating wholesome meals prepared daily by actual bakers and highly trained chefs. However, the dark reality hidden behind their warm and inviting kitchen counters is a devastating betrayal of that carefully crafted healthy image. Corporate management quietly fired their experienced baking staff and transitioned almost entirely to heavily processed frozen products just to maximize their profit margins. Today, the warm, comforting soups and creamy macaroni dishes you order are actually shipped to the stores in cheap, industrial plastic pouches. Kitchen workers simply throw these mass-produced plastic bags directly into boiling water or blast them in heavy-duty microwaves before pouring the hot contents into your bowl. This extreme corporate cost-cutting measure creates a terrifying biological hazard that the company desperately wants to keep completely hidden from the public. Heating up industrial plastic packaging at such extreme temperatures causes dangerous microplastics and severe endocrine-disrupting chemicals to leach directly into your daily meal. You are essentially paying top dollar to consume a highly toxic soup of invisible plastic residue that can severely damage your hormonal system over time. Paying a massive premium for heavily processed and heavily plastic contaminated food is an absolute insult to every health-conscious consumer walking through their doors. If you think eating out of a microwave plastic bag is terrible, you must keep watching until the very end of our list. A horrifying revelation is rapidly approaching regarding a $98 million chief executive officer who built his enormous wealth by deliberately manipulating and starving his own paying customers. Cracker Barrel is a place deeply tied to family road trips and authentic Southern comfort. People stop there expecting a warm, home-cooked meal that reminds them of their own grandmother preparing food in a rustic kitchen. But the comforting nostalgia you feel walking through their wooden doors is now nothing more than a carefully engineered corporate illusion. Instead of cooks peeling fresh potatoes in the back, the kitchen staff is simply scooping instant potato powder out of massive industrial plastic buckets and mixing it with hot water. Their famous hash brown casserole, a dish that used to define their entire menu, arrives at the restaurant completely frozen and packed with artificial preservatives. The warm country breakfast you are paying top dollar for is actually heavily processed factory food designed to sit on a dark warehouse shelf for months. You are feeding your family the exact same cheap, heavily preserved ingredients found in the lowest grade supermarket freezer aisles, all while paying premium restaurant prices. The executives have completely monetized your childhood memories, replacing authentic cooking with highly profitable, mass-produced chemical substitutes. It is a heartbreaking betrayal of every single family that trusted them to provide a genuine and wholesome dining experience. If you feel deeply cheated by this fake country cooking, brace yourself for the most infuriating part of this documentary. The final two massive brands on our list have not only degraded their food quality, but they are directly connected to a ruthless chief executive officer who pocketed $98 million by explicitly punishing his most loyal customers. Chipotle revolutionized the fast casual dining industry by promising food with integrity and serving massive, customizable burritos. Millions of hardworking people chose them every single week, genuinely believing they were getting a substantial amount of healthy protein for a completely fair price. But that fundamental trust has been completely shattered by a greedy corporate culture entirely obsessed with cutting corners. Former and current employees have leaked internal directives proving that management explicitly forces them to secretly reduce your meat portions. This highly deceptive practice, widely known across the internet as the half scoop, deliberately strips away the main nutritional value of your daily meal. You are now paying a massive premium for a sad, empty bowl of cheap rice and beans, while being aggressively overcharged for basic proteins. The corporate office is literally starving its own loyal customers to artificially inflate their quarterly profit margins. The ruthless mastermind behind this massive portion cutting strategy was their chief executive officer, Brian Niccol. His extreme cost-cutting methods destroyed the dining experience so thoroughly that he was recently hired to execute the exact same terrifying strategy at the largest coffee chain in the world. He walked away from the culinary wreckage he created at Chipotle with an astonishing $98 million compensation package. He took his terrifying profit tactics straight to Starbucks, a place that used to be a comfortable neighborhood coffee house where highly trained baristas crafted your morning drink with genuine care. Under current corporate policies, it has rapidly transformed into a chaotic, high-speed beverage factory driven entirely by a relentless mobile application. This digital system severely punishes the workers, forcing baristas to operate at such an insane pace that milk is routinely scorched and high-quality coffee beans are completely ruined. To mask the awful bitter taste of poorly extracted and burnt espresso, the company aggressively pumps your cup full of synthetic sugar syrups and artificial liquid flavorings. You are consistently paying $8 to stand inside a crowded, overwhelmingly stressful room just to receive a cup of toxic chemical sludge. They have completely abandoned the traditional art of making coffee in favor of squeezing every last drop of wealth from your daily morning routine. Paying top dollar to be manipulated, underfed, and served burnt chemicals by a multimillionaire executive is the ultimate insult to your hard-earned money. The corporate restaurant industry clearly believes you are too foolish to notice their blatant deception. Discover the safe, incredibly high-quality alternatives that actually respect your physical health and your wallet in the next crucial chapter of our breakdown. You do not have to accept this corporate manipulation as your only dining option. There are still places that deeply respect their ingredients and value your hard-earned money. Instead of paying a fortune for heavily seasoned supermarket beef, you should consider Texas Roadhouse, where they actually cut fresh meat right in front of you. Alternatively, buying 100% grass-fed beef from your local butcher allows you to completely control the quality and the cooking process at home. When you want to enjoy a lively weekend atmosphere with hot wings and cold drinks completely, avoid those private equity-owned chains. Seek out independent mom-and-pop sports bars in your local neighborhood instead. In these family-owned establishments, the owner is usually standing right in the kitchen ensuring the frying oil is fresh and the ingredients are strictly monitored. Your money goes directly into supporting a local family rather than funding the next massive corporate buyout. Do not let massive corporate bakeries serve you reheated plastic pouches disguised as authentic country cooking. You can easily find genuine artisan bakeries in your city that naturally ferment their sourdough bread and serve soups made entirely from scratch. For your daily caffeine fix, completely. Skip the burnt chemical syrups at major coffee chains and invest in high-quality specialty beans. Brewing your own drinks at home will save you thousands of dollars a year while drastically improving your physical health. Taking your money away from these greedy giants is the single most effective way to force them to change their deceptive practices. But knowing where to eat is only half the battle in this massive food industry war. Keep listening to uncover the ultimate weapon you currently possess to permanently protect your family from these predatory restaurant chains. The ultimate weapon you possess against these greedy corporate giants is your wallet. Every single time you choose to drive past their glowing signs and eat at a local business, you are actively draining their power. They rely entirely on your blind loyalty to keep their stock prices high while they serve you absolute garbage. Now it is time for you to take a stand and demand better food for your family. Leave a comment below telling us which of these 8 restaurants you are boycotting permanently. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel and share this documentary with anyone who still eats at these terrible places. The corporate food industry is hiding even more terrifying secrets from you. Click the video on your screen right now to uncover the massive scandal happening in your local supermarket meat aisle. Thanks for watching.